Hello again, everyone. Terry Earthwind Consortium with another What Are You Doing Superstar. My guest, Sarah Willoughby. Welcome, Sarah.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm excited because you have quite a journey and quite a story and quite a book. And ladies and gentlemen, you get to hear about it right now. So Sarah Willoughby, what are you doing?
Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Willoughby. I live in beautiful Melbourne, Australia, but I'm originally from the UK, so I've got a bit of a funny accent going on. I work here as a transformation coach, infertility coach, best-selling author, speaker, and energy healer. And I am so blessed to be able to do what I love every single day, but it hasn't always been that way. Let me take you back to 2009. 2009, I went on this crazy journey to self-love through secondary infertility, a journey that almost cost me my life and resulted in me lying in intensive care, wondering where it all went wrong after a failed IVF cycle. There are two moments in my life during that time that I remember that set me on a new path. The first one was watching my 3-year-old son walk out of the hospital door holding his beautiful rabbit in one hand and his grandma's hand in the other, saying goodbye to me, not knowing whether I'd ever see him again, and wondering where it had all gone wrong, wondering why I was in this situation and feeling guilty and feeling a lot of shame because I'd gone through an elective procedure trying to complete my family. The second moment that was pivotal for me was when I finally started to recover. And there was no guarantee of that. So I'd been dealing with fluid on my lungs, unable to breathe. I had an enlarged heart. My kidneys had stopped working. There was nothing that the doctors could do to stop my deterioration. They could just treat each symptom as it arose. Once the process started to reverse itself, which there was no guarantee with that, one of the consultants came and spoke to me one night, and she was on another shift on another ward, but she felt compelled to come and speak to me. And she looked deeply into my eyes and she put a hand on my leg and she said, "You've been really lucky." And in that moment, I understood what she was saying, and she looked away. She had tears in her eyes, and she was quite moved by the situation too. And that moment I will never ever forget. And I made a promise to myself and the universe at that point that if I was blessed with a second chance, like if I really recovered and got through this and had no long-term damage, I would spend the rest of my life being of service and walking towards those things that I had been fearful of. And those things that had held me back, I'd realized I hadn't been living this authentic life. I hadn't been living the path that I wanted. I'd been living this life around other people's expectations for me and the expectations I had for myself, because I'd spent 6 years at university and 10 years working my way up the corporate ladder. So I had to follow that path, right? I had to keep going along this, journey of what everybody else perceived I should be doing. And I know a lot of people feel stuck in the corporate world but don't know how to get out. So I'm really proud to say that I kept that promise. And 7 months later, I emigrated over to Australia and I began a new life. And in my book, Infertility Saved My Life, which is out as an ebook at the moment and is coming into global bookstores on the 6th of December of this year and is available for pre-order now from all the main online retailers, I share my story. So the first part is my memoir and the journey that I went on over those very difficult years. It shares very vulnerably and openly all the loss, trauma, and grief that I went through to try to complete my family. And the second part is all the tools and wisdoms and techniques that I learned that helped me through that. I know I wouldn't be here if I hadn't have learned meditation. Meditation saved my life. I couldn't have got through the pain, the emotional, spiritual, physical, mental pain without that. And I want to share that and other things with people who are still going on that journey. I also wanted to leave a legacy and basically break down the silence around infertility, because it's a topic that we don't talk about. There's still a lot of shame and grief and loss in that journey. So I would love to connect with people and help people through their journey through infertility.
I told you, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an amazing story. Sarah Willoughby, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story. And heads up on the book. Links in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again, Sarah, for coming.
Thank you so much. I've enjoyed our conversation. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Consortium, the business model for the 21st century.